It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? This is the only fun Survivor podcast, as you can tell by my voice. My name is Jake Scheidel. Each week I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he'd indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how's it going today?
Jake, I'm doing great. That's all I got for you. Things are just good.
Had a good weekend, chill time.
Good weekend. Got a thing on my car fixed that needed to get fixed, so that's nice.
Beautiful.
Although I do maybe need to do something about my AC. Whatever. It's a problem for later.
So here's something I just thought about. What you telling this story about your AC in your car and how chill your weekend was. You know what AC stands for?
What does AC stand for?
All chill. Anyway, my point is, I was looking at some analytics on the YouTube where we have where we're uploading all the old episodes of Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? That's this podcast.
You were crunching the numbers. You were looking at all the data.
All the data said people drop by after about 37 seconds of these long episodes. And I was like, what's in the first 37 seconds of an episode? It's just the intro. And then we start talking about
all of our laser targeted intros of just like, hey, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm okay. Yeah, me too. All right, well, let's get into it. Maybe we need to beef up our intros more. What's a fun like bit you have? An idea for a fun bit we can do?
This seems like
it kind of look like a skeleton fish. The skeleton of a fish. Is that something?
I think it would be really funny to fundamentally alter the beginning of the show after we've been doing this for like literally hundreds of episodes. Just like, it's different now.
It's different. We're changing up the format.
Look, what you see is what you get. What you hear is what you get. We're not changing. This is who we are.
We've changed up the format quite a bit over the years. I'm currently uploading the first 100 episodes, and boy, oh boy, we've gotten much more organized over the years, if you can believe it.
We definitely have. We've tightened it up, but you know what we haven't changed that whole time? The intro ever, and we're never changing it.
And we never will, because the intro, it goes like this. Thomas, did you watch Survivor 44 last night?
And, as is tradition, yes, Jake, I did.
Wow, how perfect was that? And now no one's listening anymore. So
that's right. Get out of here.
Fudge, we want.
Get all that pesky engagement out.
Yeah. Pesky engagement. What are we talking about? Engagement? That doesn't really make any sense.
Normally people want a welcoming atmosphere with their podcast to draw people in, but the beginning of ours is last call at the bar. Get the fuck out.
You're not supposed to be here anymore. But then the people who do stick around are actually some of your closest friends. That's what we learned on the television show Survivor. This week's episode was called I'm the Bandit. What did you think of that episode title?
Fine. Whatever.
Agreed. I feel like they've already done an episode or two called I'm Something. It's getting boring.
Yeah. Didn't they say, wasn't one of them I'm Felicia?
Yeah, I think so. So, just take the I'm off. It's cleaner. Take the off. It's even cleaner.
Yeah.
Bandit. The clean bandit. Bring back the. You're now the clean bandit. I'm Sam Raimi in Spider-Man. You're the
also
clean bandit
Also bring
now.
back the band that I like, that my famous Twitter avatar is from.
You're so famous on Twitter for having the as your
I'm so far out ahead of it. Apparently there's a the song that is used in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and like a bunch of bandwagon fans out there now. Not me. I've been here for years. Don't call it a comeback.
The bandwagon?
Yeah, yes. The bandwagon.
I can't believe people don't continue to listen to this show.
Yeah, look at all these bits we got.
Only good bits on this podcast. We start off on camp. Everybody is amazed with Carolyn's move to play her idol on Carson. Of course, Cardad's son. Carolyn and Cardad go way back. That's why she saved him.
I don't know why. I should know it's coming now, but I'm just so delighted every time you reference the Cardad thing.
I can't see Carson's name without thinking of his dad, Car Dad, now.
His dad is Car Dad.
It just
And
makes
his Car
sense.
Mom, Car Mama.
Yeah, Carvana, please. She didn't take her family name. She kept her maiden name.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was not paying sufficient respect to Carson's girl boss, Car Mom.
Yes. Oh my God. Can we talk about girl bosses this week on Survivor? Yeah.
Can we? Are you going to?
I was
I
like,
didn't know. I thought that was rhetorical. I didn't think I needed to give you permission.
I was trying to remember who got voted out, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm constantly watching like 16 seasons of Survivor in different contexts, so it's really hard to keep track. I'm glad we take notes for.
I thought
for
you would
this
have
one.
remembered. Maybe you've blocked out who got voted out this week
Yeah,
because it was too hurtful.
yeah, it really was. But we'll get to it when we get to it. I actually like to relive the episode through the notes, so I'm like, oh, I remember when that happened. That was really fun.
Yeah, it's like you're watching it all over again.
Exactly. You could say I'm watching it for a second time.
I could and would say that, but also sometimes it would be a third time because you'd be watching 2 episodes.
Yeah, but not this time. This time, though, I did watch it twice because I was eating the first time I watched it.
Yeah, that's you couldn't hear over all the crunching, and you
I was
didn't
like,
have
munch, munch,
subtitles
munch.
on.
Yeah. Well, you know I don't have subtitles on, Thomas. I don't know how to read. I
Oh,
got my
yeah,
volume
of
at
course.
83.
I'm sorry. That was very rude of me. My mistake.
Thank you. Krylin tells everybody about how she got this idol and then about the red X she planted. And Jam Jam mentions how he's now a little afraid of her. Krylin. More like cry a win.
Yeah, everyone's up on what we've known all along, and I think I agree with Jam Jam that I understand being proud of that, but also maybe don't tip people off that you're a good player.
Yeah.
You got a good thing going here.
Would you say you understand Yam Yam? Understand
course I would.
Jam Jam? Yeah. Oh, God.
Do you
I keep
think Jam
messing up
Jam
my
likes the
perfect hits. We need to stop with all this repetition, Heidi quietly gets up in the morning and goes looking for the new idol. Carson and Jam Jam pretend to work with Lauren and Jamie. This was pretty skilled maneuvering by our purple friends, Carson and Jam Jam. And purple actually means a different thing in this context than usual context for Survivor, the under-edited player.
It's par for the course, or car for the course in this case.
For the course.
Yeah. That's the new saying. Yeah, they just, I mean, Jam Jam and Carson are both very skilled social players, and that was on display here.
You could argue, and this is a little bit
Sorry,
for...
you could argue.
This is a little bit for all the true Survivor fans out there. You could argue this is an all-purple Final Five. Do you get it? See if you're a true Survivor fan if you get that joke.
I'm not. I don't know what the purple thing is.
Okay, a purple player is a player who is under-edited because in, I think it was Survivor Nicaragua, there was a character named Purple Kelly, and she was very under-edited to the point that her name became this moniker. And she had a purple streak in her hair. That's why she was called Purple Kelly, because there was another
Okay, I
Kelly
was
on the
wondering
tribe
where the
too.
purple was coming from.
I realized I skipped over that part. Okay, so let's talk about this reward challenge. Jeff says, Survivor 44, what do we have in store? I gotta say, I liked that a lot. That
Good
was
stuff.
Really good.
More of that, please. They did I guess this was, it was this one. They did a bunch of swoopy camera stuff for it too, which I liked. They're
Love
like,
a
oh, the
swoopy
camera's on a
camera.
roller coaster. Here's what the challenge is.
What about a challenge where you have to build a roller coaster out of camp supplies?
Yeah, and everyone has to survive.
Yeah. Do it like they do Not So Fast on the challenge, where you build a roller coaster and then swap roller coasters with the other tribe, and then you have to ride on their roller coaster, and whoever gets more sick loses.
I like
Any
that. That sounds good. And
any
also,
chance-
Jeff has to ride on it.
Yeah. Would you rather see Jeff riding on the roller coaster or being in the little carny outfit pulling the levers?
Ooh, those are both so good. I think maybe what I want is instead of the other, Jeff is wearing the outfit, but instead of the other teams having to ride each other's roller coasters, what it is they build roller coasters and Jeff rides both of them, and then Jeff says which one he had more fun on.
Yes, I agree with that. My issue is Jeff doesn't like to put his thumb on the scale. Just ask Ben Driebergen. He doesn't want to play favorites ever. So, what if we pull in an expert on roller coasters, say the Six Flags man, assuming he's still alive?
Oh yeah, get him out there. He can do his dance. They're gonna be the Venga Boys are gonna be playing.
Yes. Oh my God.
The Venga Bus will be coming.
The reward can be a Venga Brothers. Venga Brothers or Venga Boys?
The Venga Boys.
Venga Boys. The reward can be you get to go on the bus with them and they perform a show for you with the man dancing, the Six Flags man dancing.
Yeah, or you go. The Six Flag man ushers you into the bus, and then where do you go? You go to a Six Flags that they've built, and you have a great time there.
Six Flags Fiji. Whoa!
You could make up for not being able to go to Six Flags for free, as was something that was offered to you.
Do you know the Six Flags man's name?
Is his name like Rick Flags?
His name is Mr. Six.
Ooh, I really don't like that.
Wow, there's a whole Wikipedia article about him.
Also, I just realized that Rick Flags, which was just my tossed-off joke about this, I think that one of the guys from Suicide Squad is Colonel Rick Flag.
Who? I need to find out who played him though. Was it more than one person?
The Six Flags man?
Yeah.
Mr. Six?
Yeah, Mr. Six. Who played Mr. Six? It couldn't have been just Danny Thiessen was his name.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I do know that Joel Kinnaman played Rick Flag in both Suicide Squad movies, the bad one and the kind of good one.
The one with John Cena.
Yes,
Prequel
that
to
one, solid movie.
The John Cena show. Six Flags did not disclose the identity of the actor playing Mr. Six for some time, but eventually it became known that Mr. Six was played by choreographer Danny Thiessen. Thiessen explained in 2018, the first few years, I had a hefty NDA with my contract. Okay, so...
They feared for his life if anyone found out who he was.
Yeah. God forbid what happens to Danny Thiessen after we find out that he's Mr. Six. Wait. He's not an old man at all? He was born in 1975.
He's a guy wearing a bald cap.
No, what? I've been lied to this whole time about the identity of Mr. Six?
You just thought he was an unnaturally spry old man.
Yeah, you can't put things on TV that are fake.
Yeah, that's against federal regulations. That's false advertising.
He's British.
Okay, well, no wonder he looked like such a pervert.
God. And he's not dead.
So you're saying that the threat of Mr. Six still hangs over us. No one is safe.
Okay, so Mr. Six luckily he's still alive, and it's been 13 years since they had any ads with him. I think it's time for a comeback. Get Mr. Six back on TV. Make him the judge for the roller coaster challenge that they do in Survivor 45.
Maybe he gets promoted to Mr. Seven. He's Mr. Seven now.
Yeah, that would be good. Instead,
why don't they add a seventh flag to Six Flags? I feel like
it's about time.
Yeah, I think it's been long enough.
Yeah. One person is in a giant ball directing two blindfolded people who are pushing them, and then they do a big puzzle. This is a fun challenge. I liked this one.
It was a fun challenge. I will say I wish that anyone but Carolyn had been in one of those balls.
Why do you hate her so much?
I don't hate her. She just was... I think that for everyone, I would want someone who's not screaming a lot when they're in there. And I think that anyone but Carolyn would have obliged on that. So I would think it would be in everyone's... I'm sure Carolyn doesn't want to be screaming a lot. And I think the rest of the team probably doesn't want to hear a lot of screaming.
Was it random who was the caller?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, Jeff was like, get her in there.
We need to see Krylan crying in the
This is good television.
The winners get a foot massage, sandwiches, chocolate, cookies, fruit, iced tea, and juice. A lot of good shit.
And a massage.
Yeah, I said that. That was the first thing I said.
Yeah, well, I wanted to really put an exclamation point on it.
Oh, thank you. Jam, Carson, and Lauren win. So they get to go to the sanctuary where good things happen.
How disappointed were you that there was no Charmin there?
Pretty disappointed, to be honest. Pretty disappointed.
It would be great if they were like right this way, and then they go to fully stocked bathroom.
Can you imagine how nice that would be? To be fair, they didn't say, they said where good things happen, not where good shit happens. Like, those are synonyms, but they're not the same word for a reason.
You go to the sanctuary. You get to the door, you're excited about the food you're going to eat. All of a sudden, 4 servers come out. They're the Charmin Bears. What do? How do you open?
How do you open on the family of Charmin Bears? So Lauren talks about how she never takes time for herself. Winner's at it?
Oh, yeah.
Jam, Lauren, and Carson talk about taking Krylan out next. What about that?
It's not the worst idea in the world. It's not a bad time to do it. I will say...
It makes a lot of sense.
It's tough with her. You're in a tough spot with her because if you don't get her out, like they said, she's been practicing fire making a lot.
So she would bleed, yeah.
And she's got a very good chance to win at the jury. The other end of that, if you're the one that conspired to get Carolyn out, could poison the whole jury against you. Mm-hmm. So it's a real tough situation either way. I kind of wonder with Jam and Carson, it would be really interesting if the final 3 was just them. Like if it was just them and Carolyn, like that whole alliance.
I would love to see that.
It would be fascinating because I don't know who would win.
I think that's what most people are expecting at this point. And
it's not going to happen.
I think it could. I don't think it will, though.
It won't happen on purpose, is what I'll say.
How do you mean?
I mean that there might be a situation where, let's say, let's say 2 of them make it guaranteed to the final 2. One of them wins out in fire making, but they send the other member to fire making. Or one of them wins the final immunity challenge unexpectedly, and it shifts things around there. I just think at some point you can't operate with putting I think all 3 of them know that they can't go to the end together.
I don't know. If they were going to make a move, this would have been the perfect time to make it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking watching this was like, yep, this is the right time. So, but it was interesting.
If they are gonna take each other out, I mean, they've only got 2 opportunities. If they want to be the last Tika standing, they've only got 2 opportunities now, and hey, there's 2 extra Tikas. So, I don't know. It'll be compelling, this finale. Jeff Probst is very excited. Jamie targets Carson, but Krylan doesn't want to take him out yet. She says, "That's my baby." That's cute, right?
It was cute. Also smart from Jamie's perspective to go after Carson, but just nobody was interested. So, What are you going to do?
Well, it was smart for Franny to go after Tika all those weeks ago, too, but nothing happened from it. Tika's just unstoppable, it seems.
It does seem a little weird that Heidi was very willing to take out Danny, and then as soon as she took out Danny was like, "Oh, I'm exposed." Where it's like, well, whose fault is that? You didn't have to do that.
Do you feel like Krylin has kind of adopted the role as Carson's island Carvana?
I don't think that Carson is not. I think Carson has like very youthful mannerisms, but I think that he does not need a mom. He's very self-sufficient.
Okay, well, too bad. He's got a mom, and her name is Carvana.
Okay. I think it's a little patronizing to him to say that Carolyn is momming him. I think they are friends. They view each other as equals.
Okay, let me ask you this, Thomas. When a child is born, what does their mother call that child?
So they call them. Well, I mean, depends, but let's say.
No, that's what they put on their butt, idiot.
Oh yeah, well, I walked right into that one. All right, I think I know where you're going with this. Is the answer son?
No, the answer is baby.
Okay.
And Krylin says in a talking head this week, Carson is my car baby. So think about that maybe before you take all your hot takes to the bank. Heidi wants to take out Lauren or Jamie. This was dumb, right? Shouldn't she have aligned with them and forced a tie?
I think that would have been a better move for her. So yeah, I don't fully understand what she's doing here, but especially because she has an immunity idol. So even if you draw heat, like that might even help you.
Yeah. Heidi thinks the final three will be her, Jam Jam, and Krylin. I don't see that happening, but
You got to get Carson out, and yeah, like that's the thing. I think especially now that she burned, like spoiler, that she burned her idol. It's just a little difficult. Like people like Carson better than you.
Mm-hmm. And I think I don't know. I don't see Heidi's path to victory at this point.
I think if she gets into the final three, she could say, like, I orchestrated getting Danny out. I managed to navigate the Big Tika alliance, and I generally was pretty under the radar, and I was always able to maneuver whenever my name came up. I think there's a case to be made there. I just think that it's going to be hard for her to get there.
Yeah.
And also, if she wins fire making, I think that might have to happen. Either winning final immunity or winning fire making.
You know how in basketball they have, or I guess any sport, they're like, the difficulty of each schedule for each team, whatever, like, determines their ranking or whatever. Is this a thing in sports?
You mean in terms of what? Determines their ranking in terms of what?
Their standings in the conference, I guess?
No. That is true in like college sports, like for the NCAA tournament or the college football playoff.
Okay,
that
those
kind
are
of
both
stuff
sports.
factors in. But like for any professional sport, it's just a win-loss record.
I didn't say professional sports. I said sports.
Okay, well that also includes professionals. What
I didn't
I'm
say
saying
all
is
sports.
that I clarified it because it required clarification. Because
Well, that's
it
why
was
I'm asking.
Yes. Well, it's been answered now.
Asked and answered. Thank you. Not only were we defensive with our audience, also each other.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what makes this a podcast hit on YouTube. Big on YouTube these days, did you hear? Heidi thinks the final three will be her, Jam Jam, and Krylin. Unlikely, we already talked about. Jam Jam burps in Krylin's nose so she can smell the food. I had many feelings about this. How did you feel about this?
Bad. It made me feel... I did not enjoy this. This is degenerate behavior.
I completely understood where Krylin was coming from, though.
Of course,
sometimes you get a good.
Of course,
sometimes you get a good burp. It smells good. What can you say?
I have never thought that combination of words together in my life.
You've never burped and been like, "Oh, that's right. I had hot dogs earlier. Those are some good hot dogs."
I have been like that. I've had hot dogs earlier, but it's always like, ugh. It tastes like hot dog and bile. Like it almost retroactively ruins the meal that you had.
Okay. Well, I get hot dogs that are filled with cheese instead of bile. Maybe that's your first mistake.
I'm just imagining you coughing up an undigested hot dog and just being like, more for me.
God, I got a Moon Bowl. Do you guys have Moon Bowl in Grand Rapids?
No, what is that?
I don't actually know the style of food, but it's like a bowl of like veggies and rice and meat in it, like any restaurant.
So it's a bowl place, as evidenced by the name of it.
Yeah. And I think their kitchen is on the moon. That's why they're called that. Anyway, they served me a moon bowl that I had ordered, which is fair, but I didn't realize there was corn in said bowl. And I said, oh man, I hate corn because it's weird to me how it doesn't always digest, even if you chew it a million times. And then I defecated, will be clinical because doctors listen to this show. I looked in the toilet and guess what I saw? A little bead of corn. Isn't that disgusting? Even after I talked about it.
It is gross, and I think it is the perfect explanation of how corn is very loosely classified as food because it has basically no nutritional value. Like, it's hilarious that it qualifies as a vegetable because it's not good for you.
Yeah, why? Because it grows out of the earth? Okay.
Yeah, corn is healthy. It's from the earth.
So does long grass. I'm not eating that. I'm not 7 years old. You ever eat long grass?
I think maybe when I was a child.
Yeah, not children
It doesn't taste
anymore.
very good. I only made that mistake once.
This ain't the kid nation. This is adult nation. USA. United States of Adults.
Child-free America.
Thank you. Carson tells Krylin to touch base. Well, let me start over. Carson tells Krylin. No, that's what my notes say. Carson tells Krylin touch base. Apparently they're playing baseball now.
I thought this was Survivor, not America's pastime.
Yeah, I tuned into Survivor and a baseball game broke out.
Whoa. Who's on first? Jeff would love it if you made a Who's on First reference.
Woo's on first. That's a Survivor guy. I guess Woo's on second, if you've seen that season. Spoiler alert.
That's true, yeah. It's actually Tony's on first.
Tony's on first. Sandra's on first. Sandra's on first again. Who's going to be the first person hit a grand slam in Survivor, you think? 4 wins.
Would a grand slam be that they win 4 times?
A grand slam would be they win 4 times, yeah.
Boston Rob. They're going to keep bringing him back. Mm-hmm. He's going to play like 25 times.
Jeff hears this podcast and is like, you know what? That's a really good point.
I know we said we were bringing people back, but everyone's
what
favorite
if
player,
it's
Boston Rob.
Look, we're going to do another captain season with Boston Rob again, and you can't vote for him until the merge, and also...
He's going to play the same way that he always does.
He does have immunity in case if anybody looks at him, that gives him immunity, so keep that in mind, and you will want to be his friend, because he's such a nice guy. We're pro Boston Rob here, clearly. Krylin thinks Lauren's a bigger threat than Jamie. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, Lauren's 1-2 immunity idols.
Let's be real here. Jamie is not a threat to anyone. I don't think Jamie could eliminate someone if she tried.
You're the rudest person alive.
I think she seems really nice, but like I kind of thought people would keep her around because she's like tailor-made to be a goat.
Well, apparently she had a lot of social connections that we didn't see because it would be funnier to make fun of her the whole time. And I don't disagree. It was very funny.
I don't think the show was mean to her. I just think that she just did not have any kind, like she was playing way past where her actual like quality of gameplay should have taken her.
What about this? What did you think when Jam Jam and Jamie were talking and Jam Jam told her, everyone who has written my name down goes home? It's not a winner's edit. That's a villain's edit.
That is a villain's edit.
Jam Jam filled the role of Danny once he left, of being the bad guy. Remember that song? He's a bad guy. Billie Eilish.
Being Scott Hall, the bad guy. Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
But
Toothpick guy.
I think with him and Danny both though, like not like the enjoyable villains. Like I was enjoying heel turn Jam Jam. He's compelling either way.
100%. A real Roman Reigns with that. The most compelling face of all time in WWE history. At the Immunity Challenge, I have to balance a ball on a disc. Pretty good stuff.
Classic.
Lauren wins this one. We love Lauren.
Lauren had a pretty awesome recovery that they tried to make it look like she was going to get out. But I'm always impressed when somebody manages to rescue one of those balls, like where it really clearly looks like it's going to fall off, and then they manage to just get it back to a perfectly stable position. So if they do any more challenges like this, I think Lauren is going to beast and beat everybody.
I think we should start calling her Lore Wins.
That's right. It would be really funny if Lore won out and just won on the strength of that at the jury. All of this Tika like alliance dominating, and they all split the vote basically, and then Lauren just wins because she actually won challenges.
Yeah. I don't hate that
It could totally
idea.
happen, and it wouldn't. And also, yeah, I don't hate it. Like, I think it would be well deserved. I think she's played a pretty good game.
Yeah, I would agree. Carson, Heidi, and Krylin want to vote for Jamie, but Krylin is worried that she has an idol. No, her idol went home with Kane, of course.
Her very real idol that she had.
Her real idol that she had went home with Kane. We're all so sad about it. So she can't save herself with any idol, real or fake. Jamie, Lauren, and Jam Jam want to vote for Krylin. Carson and Jam Jam touch base, and Jam Jam seems ready to vote for Krylin.
I loved this.
Did you think
I loved
she was
this
going?
conversation. I kind of did.
I kind of did too. It
made sense.
They really played with
Dramaturgically,
us.
it made sense.
I don't know why they didn't. They had an opportunity.
Yeah, it was one of those things where when everything leading up to it, they did a good job of fooling you, Jam Jam and Carson and the production team, because I should have known when Jam Jam was saying like cryptic stuff at Tribal that it was a misdirection, but it really, I mean, they swerved us is what they did, because everything made sense for her to go out here, and I guess they just decided again they couldn't bring themselves to do it. Is I guess what it was, which I understand. They're all friends, but I thought the Jam Jam Carson conversation was. I want to see more of just the two of them talking. I find they are both very good social players, so it is fun to hear them talk.
What did you think of Carson calling Jam Jam his number one?
Loved it.
That's such a good line.
It's great, and also it's funny, like them being number ones together is very interesting, but also there is a time limit on that, and it's going to be really interesting when they have to eventually face off.
This is what I don't understand with Jeff's fascination with all these fucking advantages and twists and one-off things that he loves to throw in the game. The Tika bomb that's going to explode one way or the other is so much more fascinating than 6 people don't get to vote this week, except for one of them does, because who gives a fuck?
Yeah, what if we split them into 2 different tribals and there was a double, triple, steal a vote, extra vote, and they have to stand on their heads to activate the idol, and there's 10 fake idols?
What if we put 18 people on a beach, made them become friends because it's all they have time to do, and then made them vote their friends out?
The show now is just Prisoner's Dilemma. Everyone gets separated, and they all have to do Prisoner's Dilemma. There's no more social play. There's no more challenges.
Prisoner's Dilemma is down, and up is Prisoner's Break. It's coming back, baby. Prison
Break.
Break.
Let's go. Wentworth Miller, he's back.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining everyone being like, oh my God, that's the Prisoner's Dilemma every time they get let out to do it again.
What about this, Thomas? Kelly Wentworth Miller.
Ooh. I'm smelling money. I'm thinking Boffo ratings.
Yeah. What if Wentworth Miller and Kelly Wentworth were 2 captains on a season of Survivor, and Boston Rob was the other captain? Now there's
Boston
a
Rob
season.
is the prison warden of the prison where all conflict must be ended with a fight to the death.
Speaking of things that fight to the death, like the chicken bone in Prison Break, that's what that represented. Speaking of animals, let's talk about these wildlife shots. We had a snake, and a snake's good friend, the lizard. You know snakes and lizards? They're friends?
They are friends. I've heard that.
They're kind of like the tikas of the wildlife world. We also had a fly that I'm going to say is the flesh fly. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Have I heard of what?
The flesh fly.
I was trying to think of something untoward to say about that, but I don't know. My heart wasn't in it. No, I have not heard of the flesh fly.
We have 4 facts, so you can use this 30 seconds to a minute to think of whatever untoward thing you want to say. And I'll tell you right now, these have not been studied by the IUCN, so don't even bother thinking about that. Only think of your untoward joke.
Okay.
You can find these boys worldwide. They're about 1/2 inch long and gray with dark stripes and red eyes. The larvae feed on rotting meat, and adults feed on small organisms that they themselves feed on carrion. And they sometimes carry pathogens and bacteria to humans. Let's hear that joke, Thomas.
Flesh fly, what are you talking about when I pull my dang pants down?
So at Tribal Council, they bought everything. They bought the whole Tribal Council set. That's what happened, and Jeff was so mad. Just kidding. They brought everything from camp to Tribal Council because they expect to go to a new beach. Jeff seemed to love this. Because, they've been watching the show the last few seasons, so they finally caught on. I don't care. Who cares?
Yeah, this is not, you're like, oh, you solved my riddle.
You solved my new beach riddle.
This show is catering everything to Jeff and not the audience. And
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Jeff says, what about idols and advantages? That's my Jeff impression. Jamie says you have to be the change you wish to see in the world and that you have to work on building their resume. I don't know what this means. I don't know why she said you have to be the change you see in the world. This Tribal Council didn't make any sense to me. Carson says tight groups may break up. Big words when it comes to friendships. Jeff? See, this is what I'm saying, Jeff. Even you were like, holy shit, break up. That's big news. Gossip column. The Tika Alliance broke up. That's the shit we want to see. Away with the knowledge is power. Away with the immunity idols. Away with... Knowledge is power. Did I say that one already? What's good? Away with the medallion of power. I just want Rudy and Rich back.
Exactly. Do you think it would be fun if a group broke up and then they were doing maneuvering, they were doing alliance maneuvering.
Yeah.
And when they voted somebody out, the person is like, we were on a break. And then they were like Ross friends.
Yeah. Looks into the camera. Jim, The Office. Krylan, that is, says there's nothing wrong with being emotional. She says she promised her son, not the car son, her regular human son, that she would never apologize for crying. And that's why she's called that. Krylan. Jeff
The thing with people crying is I know that some people, there's only ever internal pressure to apologize for crying, I feel like. Because I don't think I've ever seen anyone demand an apology for someone crying.
Yeah, that feels like abusive behavior when you think about it.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty out of bounds, but it's funny to be like this idea that it's you must apologize for crying.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always internally, it's oh shoot, I'm embarrassing myself, I'm sorry. And it's nobody is ever, people might just be oh boy, they're crying, but nobody is I'm offended that you were crying.
How dare you cry at my father's funeral? He wasn't your father. Speaking of out of bounds, who are you rooting for in the NBA playoffs?
Denver Nuggets, baby. Let's go.
I'm rooting for the Denver Nuggets as well from that side. And the Miami Heat, bro, for the other side. Let's fucking
I'm
go.
glad that the Boston Celtics are going out sad. I'm so goddamn sick of the Miami Heat. I hope they get swept. I hope they lose every game by 50 points.
Well, they can't get swept because they're the ones doing the sweeping. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Heat in 3, baby. Jeff says tonight is going to be someone's goodbye. Yeah, maybe the Boston Celtics or the Los Angeles Lakers. And then Krylin does her what feels like a goodbye speech. And again, they got us. Did they get you on this one?
They really did. It seemed like Carolyn didn't really know either, so...
Yeah. I loved how she was like, is this my goodbye speech? Like you've said many times throughout this season, the show has gone up its own ass, but in this moment, the meta-ness of it was kind of fun. I liked it. I appreciated it.
It was funny at the end, too, because when the votes got read for Jamie, Jamie was just kind of like, huh, okay. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Jam Jam says the person leaving tonight is the person who needs to leave. And then they immediately cut to Krylin looking devastated on the other side of the bench. I was like, they are really doing her dirty here, but
yeah,
it was well played. It was well edited, I mean.
It's a couple of George Clooney's over here with these pranks.
Mm-hmm. So then they vote, Heidi plays her idol for herself. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's fine. I get it. Krylin gets 2 votes, and Jamie gets the other 4. Bad move by Heidi, I think. Bad move all around.
Yeah, I don't really get it from her perspective, but also I'm okay with it because Jamie was just like, she was along for the ride, which is fine, but I think she wasn't adding a lot to the show at this point.
Had Heidi played this correctly, I feel like she should have taken that information that they're voting for Jamie back to Jamie and Lauren and been like, hey, I have an idol. I'm going to play it on you, Jamie. We're going to put all our votes on Krylin.
And nobody voted for Heidi, so like you were safe.
Yeah. Like nobody was coming for her, and all of Tico assumed that she was working with them. It was the perfect opportunity to take Tika out. But again, they pass up the opportunity to take out our favorite purple people eaters. And they really are the purple people eaters because everybody's written Jam Jam's name down, has gone home, as he said many a time. So Jamie went out because she did not do a Max Keeble move. She did a Min Keeble, small move. Yeah, it was a big moves era. I don't know. I don't feel like we're in a big moves era anymore. No, I think this is one of the seasons where the big moves all got done sort of like a few weeks into the merge. Because like the Franny move was a big move. Yeah. The Danny move was a big move. Now things have settled down a little bit. But I mean, just the whole new era in general. Like, how many big moves have there been? It's just been like the person who is like can tread water the best ends up winning every time. Like, nobody's playing the rice card anymore. They're not going taking classes on big moves like Angelina did. Mm-hmm. So who do you think is leading the voting records at this point? I'll give you a hint. Everybody has increased their voting percentage except for one person. So I'm going to say Carson and Jam Jam are probably in the lead right now. Yes, Jam Jam is up first with 86%, increasing his voting by 3 points. Carson is up to 83% of the correct vote, also up 3 points. Krylin is in third, going up 6%. She's now at 66% correct, which is the same as Heidi. And Lauren correctly voted 2 of 7 times. Not good. That's the big mark against her, is that she has not been in on these moves. She has lost 1 percentage point. She was voting great. She was at 30% last week. She's at 29% this week. It's great. Okay, so Thomas, last week you said Jam Jam would win the reward. You had 27 points, and he did, in fact, win the reward. So you're now at 28 points. Heidi did not win immunity. Carson did not get voted out. Panera did not show up. I said Lauren would win immunity. I was at 35 points. Now at 36. So I am 8 points ahead of you. I did some counting today before we started recording. There are at least 9, potentially 11 points up for grab in this finale.
Oh, that's very fitting for what month we're in.
Oh, yeah, good point. 9/11 in May. Almost forgot. What will the reward be? What will one of the rewards be in the finale?
Orange juice.
Smart. I'm going to say a shower.
Okay.
Who will...
You know what? I just realized, by the way, since we brought up 9/11 in May, I'm going to have to save this for next year when I sing Have You Forgotten Again. I should probably change the How It Felt That Day lyric to How It Felt That May.
That's really good. Curious, do you want to try it right now?
No.
Okay. That's how we keep listeners for a whole year.
Yeah. You want to leave them wanting more, not less.
Yeah, exactly. Who is winning immunity?
I'm going to say Lauren wins immunity again.
Yeah. I will say... I'll say Carson. Who will win reward? Sorry, I think we skipped that.
I'll say Carolyn's going to win reward.
God damn it. You keep picking my people. I'll say Lauren. Whatever. What about who's getting voted out? We'll skip because we're doing placements this week. Who's taking 5th place?
5th place, I'm going to say Heidi.
Okay. 5th place. And I'm not seeing anybody say this. I'm going to say Jam Jam.
Okay.
Who will be forced into fire making and lose, taking 4th place?
I have to imagine that Carson practiced fire making a lot because he practiced everything else a lot.
That's true.
So I think he's going to win. Carolyn's done it a lot. I'm going to say Jam Jam finishes in 4th.
Okay. I agree that Carson has likely practiced fire making a lot. Have you noticed throughout the season, and everybody's talking about it, we're not new, we're not special, but we haven't talked about it. They love to do Carson staring into the fire shots with the fire reflecting off of his glasses. Have you noticed this?
Now that you mention it, I know what you're talking about.
Everybody's saying that likely means he's going into fire. I agree, but I think he is losing. And who might these people lose to, Thomas? Who is winning fire making is what I'm asking you.
I'm going to say Carolyn is going to win fire making. And I think that Jam Jam is going to lose fire making.
I was going to say Krylan also wins fire making. But for the sake of competition, because that's the whole point of this segment, I'll say Lauren, whatever. Who's taking 3rd place? 0 vote finalist.
3rd place is going to be Carolyn.
I will say 3rd place will be Heidi. Who's taking 2nd?
Carson is taking 2nd place.
It's actually going to be our friend Lorwyn. And who is taking 1st place? The winner of Survivor 44.
They don't call her Lore Lose, it's Lore Win for the win.
They don't call her Cry-a-Lin, they call her Cry-a-Win for the win. I know I'm a sucker for the edit, but Sucks to your asthma. Oh, hey. Now that Survivor 44 is almost over, I do have to tell you about the challenge in a segment called The Challenge Chunk. It's over now. The Challenge World Championships was won by Jordan from the USA and Kaz from the UK.
Congratulations to them.
Do you want to do a quotes quiz?
Let's do a quotes quiz, please.
So nasty that it's probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people you can call me your majesty.
This one, I think you might like a lot because it is it seems to be a trivia-based quiz. Excuse me. Sorry, Twitter's been not working for me all day. Has it been working for you at all today?
I haven't really noticed anything.
Okay. Okay, it seems to be working now. Anyway, here I'm Googling, and by Googling, oh, you sent me a link. Oh, Education Connection Girl commercial.
Yeah, we were talking about the Education Connection jingle.
Yeah. That's not a link.
I went and did quotes quizzes. Didn't do great.
Can you guess the Survivor based on... Can you guess the Survivor season based on the Survivor contestant? This is by Rebecca, community contributor with 720 points. I don't know how people...
It took like half a second for the link to show up in my DM, so it just had the title. So it looked like you just DM'd me, can you guess the Survivor season based on the contestant?
That's not what happened. If eagle-eyed listeners, eagle-eared listeners will notice me saying, oh, that's not a link, a few minutes ago, because I just copied that.
Oh, so you're admitting, oh my God, he admitted it.
I copied the text instead of the hyperlink and sent it to you.
You've walked into a wall on this one, Jake.
Okay, and do you have it up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Andrea Belke, I'll let you go first since you've seen fewer seasons. Do you know Andrea Belke's first season? We've watched 2 of these. Gabon, Redemption Island, Blood vs. Water, and Panama.
Oh, I don't remember this person.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Redemption Island.
I would say... I'm also saying Redemption Island. I knew that was correct. She also appeared on Caramoan, Fans vs. Favorites too. An underrated season, in my opinion. How about Aubrey Bracco, your favorite? Millennials vs. Gen X, Heroes vs. Villains, San Wandel, Survivor, or Ko-Ron? We've watched all of these seasons on this podcast.
Yeah, I believe this was Brains, Beauty, Brawn, which I believe was Ko-Rong.
It was indeed Ko-Rong. Yes, Aubrey was the runner-up. And Brad Culpepper, Blood vs. Water, Palau, Tocantins, or Pearl Islands.
It was Blood vs. Water, I believe.
That is correct. 4 with 9 equals out is the little GIF they use there. That's fun. I remember when he did math. Caleb Reynolds, remember him? Micronesia, Ko-Rong, Worlds Apart, or Fiji.
Didn't he get medevaced?
He did get medevaced.
Was it Worlds Apart?
Go ahead.
Oh, it was also Ko-Rong. They tricked me.
How did they trick you? That was one of the first seasons we watched on this show.
Well, no, I'm saying I didn't think that they would do 2 in a row. They would do 2 from the same season.
Caleb is famous, of course, for us having the one and only fight we've ever had on this show.
I don't remember what it was about.
We got in an argument about whether or not it was ethical for the producers to go to commercial after he fainted in that challenge that he eventually got medevaced from.
Oh, to do like a cliffhanger?
Yeah. I said, it's fine. They know what happens.
I was going to say, I think I was arguing that I still agree with my original position. I think it is unethical to do that.
I agree with my original position, which is, it was fine. They knew what they were doing. You know, you gotta keep people watching. It's like you with your change the lyric.
Yeah, that's right. Tease him more.
Where was Sarah Easton from? One World, Samoa, Worlds Apart, Blood vs. Water.
I've already answered it. It's Blood vs. Water.
Correct. She voted out
She
her
voted her
mom.
mom off.
Siri Fields, of course. Pearl
Siri
Island.
Fields.
Pearl Islands, Cook Islands, Panama Exile Islands, or Gabon's Islands.
That is, of course, Survivor Panama.
Panama. Great stuff. Devi Wanner, South Pacific, Vanuatu, Millennials, Gen X, or Co-Wrong.
This is a third co-wrong person.
The third
This is out of
Co-Wrong
control.
person. Devi finished 9th. Man, what a person. Haley Ford, Worlds Apart, San Juan del Survivor, South Pacific, Samoa. We did not watch her original season yet. And it's, as I look back on it, I realize it's going to be a lot of fun to watch on this season. I did not love it.
Worlds Apart. Is Worlds Apart the blue collar, white collar, no collar season?
It is indeed.
I thought I recognized her. Wasn't she? Did she come back?
Yes, she was on Game Changers.
That's what it was.
JT. What was JT on? Redemption Island, Cook Islands, Borneo, Tocantins.
The T stands for Tocantins.
Yeah, we should have recorded this episode tomorrow on a Tocantins Tuesday.
That's a good point. Man, what a missed opportunity.
Speaking of missed opportunities, it's Jeff
What
Varner.
a missed opportunity. Oh, there he is.
Oh, our favorite guy, Jeff Varner. Always been good in the world of Survivor. We love to see his face pop up whenever we're talking Survivor. Was he on Blood vs. Water, Fiji, Australia, or Amazon originally? And we've watched none of these seasons.
No, we didn't. For whatever reason, I said Blood versus Water, even though I know it was wrong. Because I was like, he can't be from one of these early seasons.
Yep.
He is.
He was on the second season, Australia. Great season. Actually, I watched it again recently. It's kind of boring. But in 2001, it was a lot of fun to watch when I was 10 years old. Malcolm Freeberg, everybody's favorite boy. Was he from Micronesia, Philippines, Worlds Apart, or Co-Wrong?
Believe he is from Philippines.
Oh, how did you
and
know
I'm
that?
correct.
Did you watch that season once without me?
I haven't. I for whatever reason, I think I've heard you talk about it before, and that was back in the old brain somewhere.
Yeah, likely. Philippines, great season. That was, of course, Denise's season. We'll get to it eventually. It's good. Michaela Bradshaw, my favorite person on the show Survivor. Cagayan, Samoa, Millennials vs. Gen X, or China.
Probably from Survivor China. I just had a lobotomy recently. Millennials versus Gen
I
X.
thought you were serious for a second, and I had the same
of course I
reaction
remember.
that Michaela's having to Jay right now in this clip.
Who?
Okay. Wow, there's a lot of questions. What are all the most famous people from Survivor? What seasons are they on? Ozzy is from Cook Islands, China, Samoa, South Pacific.
Ooh.
Cook Islands, of course,
I should know this.
is our upcoming off-season season.
I think it is Cook Islands. I was trying to remember whether we had watched that one or not.
We have not yet, but we are about to in a matter of weeks, and I'm very excited. It's a great season. Also called, Thomas, you're going to love this. It's also called Survivor Rice Wars.
Love it. Everyone is playing the rice card now.
Sandra Diaz Twine, of course, Africa.
One more.
What?
Paul Walker saying, welcome to Rice. Someone saying, welcome to Rice Wars to Paul Walker. And he says, thank you.
Did you see it? I know we can't stop talking about Ron DeSantis on this podcast, but he went into some diner or whatever this week and asked somebody his name, and the guy told him his name, and he just goes, okay. You don't engage with
that's
this
the
man
kind of
at all?
charisma, the unstoppable charisma that the Ron Mentum is building.
He's going to try to debate the biggest bully in the world on a national platform. It's going to be so fucking
He's already
funny.
getting all Trump has to do is do the have you ever seen in basketball when somebody scores over somebody and they do the too small sign? Mm-hmm. All he has to do is just do that.
I want to see, was it AI who stepped over Ty Lue?
Yes.
I want to see that on the Republican debate stage next year.
Yeah. It's going to be enjoyable until we got to appreciate that while we have it, because the general is going to be awful.
Yeah. Oh, man. as it always is. Sandra, what season? Oh, Thomas, do you remember what season Sandra's from?
Pearl Islands.
Pearl Islands, Africa, the Pearl Islands, Guatemala, Gabon. Pearl Islands, of course. Yeah, we know. Sandra's the best. Sarah Lucina, Nicaragua, Cagayan, Korong, One World.
I did not watch Sarah's original season.
And which one was it? Because we have not watched 3 of these 4 seasons on this podcast.
I guessed Nicaragua, and it was in fact Cagayan.
It was in fact Cagayan. I knew that because I've watched every season. I was trying to think, have I seen every season? Yes, I have watched every season at this point. There was a time in my teenagedom that I got away from Survivor because I was too busy watching The Office and kissing girls in high school, you know? Only one of those things is true. But I revisited Survivor back in adulthood when I got back into it during Heroes vs. Villains. So, been watching it ever since, and I've gone back and watched every old season 2. So don't get mad at me for not caring about Jeff Probst or whatever people get mad at this podcast for. Why do people hate this podcast?
People say the meanest things. They say that we stink. They give us a 5-star review to try and psych us out.
I'll let you know, listener. Before Thomas and I started recording today, we talked about hotel soap for a good 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, they had my brand there. They had Dove at the Holiday Inn Express. I would love for them to pay me. They can even pay me in Dove travel size soaps, which they don't have there. But they do have nice large containers. They give you plenty. And I used a lot of it.
When you walked into the Holiday Inn Express room, where you're like, they have my brands. Remember that commercial?
I did say that. I did think it was really funny, by the way, that they had like a hand soap thing for it, but they called it in the same way that they've branded body wash. It was just hand wash.
Oh,
and I was like, is this soap or not?
Where's Sierra Dawn Thomas from originally? Worlds Apart, One World, Cook Islands, or Millennials versus Gen X? Of course, you've only seen one of these seasons, haven't you, sir?
Yeah, I don't know this. Saying One World, and I'm wrong. It's Worlds Apart.
It is Worlds Apart. She was on one of the tribes. I don't remember. I think White Collar, maybe? It's a bad season. It's boring. Ty, of course, Pearl Islands, Tocantins,
what season is he from?
Korong. This person must really love Korong, which is fair because it's a
lot
great
of Korong.
season. We've done like half of the cast of Korong at this point. Tony Vlachos, holy shit, Samoa, South Pacific, Cagayan, or Worlds Apart. We know this,
it's
of course.
Cagayan.
And Troy Zan, Gabon, Fiji, Redemption Island, One World. He was on, Thomas?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if I watched the first season, because didn't he come back?
He did come back. He was also in Game Changers.
That's where I had seen him, but I feel like I'd heard tell of him before that. I'm going to say Redemption Island. And I'm wrong. It's One World.
One World. That's right. Up next, we've got Zeke. Millennials versus Gen X.
versus
Worlds
Gen X.
Apart, South Pacific, or Panama. Of course, he was in Millennials versus Gen X. 20 out of 20, 100%. I'm the best Survivor trivia expert of all time.
15 out of 20. You scored better than 37% of all other quiz takers. That could have been better.
Yeah, well, we can always retake
You know how
this
competitive
quiz.
I am about trivia. This is not my finest hour.
Give it 3 weeks. We'll do this quiz again. I'll give, oh boy, I forgot how long this quiz was. I'll give Rebecca a point for that quiz. I don't know if that's how it works, but, you know, I think she did a good job. It was a good assortment of people. And
Yeah, the only criticism I have is one that benefited me, which is there was a lot of Korong.
Yeah, I appreciated that quiz a lot because it's one of the few times I ever beat Thomas in trivia. But Thomas, you beat your greatest rivals in trivia this week, didn't you? I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, we beat Shirt Team, and we beat them handily. We ended in first outright with a total of 81 points, and Shirt Team finished with a nice but not so nice 69 points.
Nice.
We beat them by 12.
If people wanted to hear more about your trivia escapades, where would they do that?
They can do that at Tom Not Tom on Twitter. I finally several years of having the same handle, I've changed it from Antonio McDice Clay to Jarris Walker, Texas Ranger.
I will.
Who is the guy that I hope that the Pistons draft.
Thomas, let me tell you, I was very confused when I saw you change your name. I was like, who the fuck is this?
Did you look it up? Did you look up who Jarris Walker was?
No, I meant who the fuck is this person on Twitter? And then I saw it was you.
Oh,
and
it's
I was
the same
like,
picture.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to look
didn't
at
change
pictures.
my Abby. How many people have that Abby?
You'd be surprised. I actually have a list on Twitter where everybody has that as their Abby.
Yeah, that's the only one you look at, and that's why you're so confused.
It's called the Avi group.
It always comes back to the.
Yeah.
The. That's all, folks.
You can follow us on Twitter at DYWSLN as long as that website still exists. We're on Instagram, but we haven't updated it in like 2 years, so don't bother. Or
go to YouTube.
We're on YouTube now too. We're
the new Paul brothers.
We're the new Paul brothers. We're going to go to the Suicide Forest in Japan whenever they decide to do Survivor Japan. We're going to record every episode there. We're going to fly out to Japan once a week, every week. Easy money for us. It's the only fun Survivor podcast on YouTube. And to all of the new listeners on YouTube, I hope you're listening to this part because it's past the first 37 seconds. But thanks for listening anyway. We're almost done uploading the old episodes. We have, Thomas, do you remember Are You the One Second Chances?
Of course I do.
Just so uploaded that one. Triple H, It's Time to Play the Game. That entire season is up there if you ever want to revisit that season for whatever reason. The one episode of Total Drama Island we did. Remember that?
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
So did I until I was going back through old notes. Borneo, David vs. Goliath, The Challenge, some seasons of that, Edge of Extinction, The Year of Sandra, San Juan del Survivor, the KN Cast, of course. That's the one Thomas hosted where we talked about Kid Nation. Great show. The Challenge, Double Agents, Survivor Marquesas, Gabon, Survivor 41, Christmas, Survivor Palau, Survivor 42, Guatemala, Survivor 43, Panama, 44, and Simulated Season. Wow, there's so much on the Survivor YouTube. The only fun Survivor podcast YouTube, I should be more specific. The Survivor YouTube, it's got old episodes of Survivor. We know. The Only Fun Survivor podcast has the old episodes of the Only Fun Survivor podcast. So, I feel bad because I've been uploading so many videos recently that I'm oversharing on people's feeds. I feel like I'm popping up constantly. And I'm sure that's very annoying. But pretty soon that'll be over. So thanks for listening again. Thomas, did you want to say thank you for the listeners?
I would love to thank the listeners. I just want to make you aware of I just want to make you aware of a headline I just saw. Jude Law smelled like crap on the set of Firebrand, which earned an 8-minute standing ovation at Con.
Yeah, it was Smell-O-Vision.
Jude Law made perfume smelling like blood, fecal matter, and sweat to play Stinky Henry VIII, and Firebrand is the other headline for it.
Was there a good-smelling Henry VIII there, too?
This is like fetish content, is what it sounds like to me.
Why are you getting that headline? Not to fetish shame, I'm just asking. Fetish shame.
Well, variety is the spice of life, and that was who did the headline.
Uh-huh. I wasn't searching a specific.
Maybe you've heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of the Spice of Life variety. Did you thank the listeners already?
I would love to thank the listeners. Thank you, listeners.
And did you want to say anything to anybody else?
What would that be?
The boilerplate review or anything you have to say?
Okay, this is like your team building exercise that you went on where you didn't give me enough prompts.
No, it's not, because this is, 397 of this or whatever?
And every time you prompt me by saying, what is the boilerplate review?
What is the boilerplate review, Thomas?
Thank you, Jake. I'm glad you asked.
389, by the way, not 397, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean
This
to
is
confuse anyone. That's not the boilerplate review. I just had to clarify. Thomas, what's the boilerplate review for people on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or YouTube?
This is my favorite podcast. I like it better than all the other podcasts. I give it a big thumbs up. Spotify does not allow me to leave reviews, but if I could, I would say I look forward to seeing this in my Spotify Wrapped. I almost said have a great summer, deuces, instead of I look forward to seeing this in my Spotify Wrapped.
If you want to write "Have a great summer, deuces" on the YouTube comments, though, so to let us know that you've been listening.
Yeah,
listen to the end.
I think ideally what it would be is that someone would say "Have a great summer" and then someone would reply "deuces" to them.
Oh, that's perfect. That's community building. That really makes the audience feel like they're a part of something, doesn't it? Man, perfect podcast.
It really
podcast.
does.
All right, Thomas. Well, it's been 80 degrees pretty much every day for the last week, so you know what that means. Have a great summer.
Deuces.
Now that I'm like working more regularly, I'm not gonna have as much time to watch TV.
Yeah,
That's
for your
gonna be
stories.
bummer. For my stories, my children, my bolds, my beautifuls, my children,
Your passions.
my revenges.
Your days of your life.
My children. That's the only one I can think of. My hospital.
Your general hospitals.
My general's hospital.
Yeah, it's actually General's Hospital.
Yeah, I was on 718 episodes of 718 General's Hospital episodes. Whatever. Oh my God! Let me tell you something. Summary. So we have this screen that you can pull down on the back porch, so the sun doesn't like destroy you. We could not figure out how to pull this screen down for the longest time. Well, this afternoon.
And you were destroyed by the sun.
We were destroyed by the sun. We had to like sit next to the stairwell because there's like a longer overhang, so we can get a little more shade. Well, today we figured it out and got the screen to be able to pull down the screen.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
You're so welcome.
Can't believe it only took an hour and 15 minutes to say you're welcome.
Yeah. You're not welcome.
Congratulations on what you said. I wasn't actually listening.
Wouldn't it be funny to say you're not welcome to someone? That's a good bit.
Yeah, that would be really funny to say all the time. I held the door open for somebody as they were coming to the post office as I was leaving. Should have said that then.
You're not welcome.
You're not
Wink.
welcome. And then I slammed the door shut.
Yeah. You like break their hand in the door.
I do to them what my mom did to me in 3rd grade.
What? Yeah. Yeah, that really is cycles of abuse right there.
Hey, abuse people, you know?
Smarten up, Probst.